Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Brady with Fine Editions. Today, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Brendan, aka Quinlan Voss, posted a video a few days ago, and he wanted to bring together a lot of the Expanded Universe content creators to put together a 10-year group video project. And he had a series of questions to ask all of us. And they were all Expanded Universe related things. I think his goal was to do something like what Disney released back whenever they discontinued the Expanded Universe. And that was, what does the Expanded Universe mean to us? Because they decided to turn their page and discontinue it. Make it not the priority canon that Lucasfilm would be promoting. It's crazy that that's almost 10 years ago. But he has a list of questions that he would like me to answer. So I'm just gonna go through it. So you guys know I am Brady, and my YouTube channel is Fine Editions. And I've been doing YouTube about a year now. I like to post comic book reviews, book reviews, YouTube shorts involving Lego Star Wars and the Expanded Universe. I've been doing some unboxing for some Black Series figures. Now, how old was I whenever I got into the Expanded Universe? I'm old enough to remember whenever the Expanded Universe was still active. And to me, it was Star Wars at the time. It wasn't Legends, it wasn't old canon, it wasn't something else. To me, it was Star Wars. And that's what it was. It was Star Wars. But going through the movies, I watched them as a kid. I remember my parents would always say, oh, well, there's books. Oh, well, there's other content that expands it, okay? I kind of wanted to know about them. I was actually given, I'll show a few source books. I was given, at the age of 8, the New Essential Guides. So this was the guides to characters, weapons, and I believe this was one of my first introductions to the Expanded Universe. My grandparents would have the books, and they'd give them to me. They'd get me them for my birthday, different source books. And so I'd look through them and I'd see characters like Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, Mara Jade, and even, I think it was Sal Solo, Han Solo's cousin. I would see them and go, wait, they're related. How is this? What is this? And so I would read about it. My parents would read them to me. And so that's kind of how I knew the general understanding of Star Wars. And the continued story. My first book that I got into was the Truce of Bakura audiobook. I believe that was the first. But then there was another series that my mom read to me whenever I was young, and that was the Junior Jedi Knights. I don't know if she read all of them to me, but I think she read some of the first story arc about the Golden Globe. And that's where I really started to understand, okay, Star Wars is bigger than just the movies. There was also the 2003 Clone Wars series. I caught that on Cartoon Network. I was so upset that they were so short. Like I remember continuing to watch Cartoon Network, hoping it would come back on, but I later figured out how it worked. And then whenever I saw episode 3, I was like, there's Grievous. We saw this guy before. Oh, Palpatine was captured just like it is here. But I never dived into it really deep until maybe I was 14, 12, 13, 14, around that. I was given the book Darth Pleus. Now, I thought I had an understanding about how the Sith were. I had thought at the time that Darth Bane was an apprentice of Palpatine. I don't know where that came from. Someone might have said that to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, Palpatine's like Yoda. He's super old. But no, that wasn't the case. I was reading Darth Plagueis, and he started talking about Darth Bane, and I was like, oh, Darth Bane is before Darth Plagueis. I know who Darth Plagueis is. That's Palpatine's master. From episode 3. Well, I kept reading, and I saw the origin of Darth Maul. I had also been watching the Clone Wars series, and I could see the connections that they made there. But before I read Darth Plagueis, I started getting tired of Star Wars. Because the only thing out was the Clone Wars that I knew, and it was starting to kind of wind down. Well, I watched that once a week, caught it on TV. Okay, that's all. I started getting a little bored of it. But Darth Plagueis is what really kicked it off. So I read Darth Plagueis, and then I went back, read Darth Bane, then went back even further and read Revan. And I was just so into the Sith. I was like, yes, that's fantastic. Give me more Sith books. Well, they didn't make a whole lot. I had not read the comics, which if I had gotten my hands on the comics then, I would have gone nuts. But I needed an audiobook to listen to while I was at work. I worked on a farm, and I did egg cleaning for they had a free-range chicken farm, and they had a shop, and so I had to clean eggs, and so I'd always have audiobooks on. And my mom picked out Heir to the Empire, and I go, Heir to the Empire, that's about Han, Luke, and Leia. I already know. I've seen the original trilogy so many times. Give me more Sith. While I read it, fall in love with it. Fantastic. Great. Thrawn trilogy, fantastic. So I was like, all right, what's next? So then I look and I try to find it on YouTube, what audiobooks they have on there. And they had the Jedi Academy. They had Dark Fleet Crisis. They had Corellian trilogy. I was like, what? This is fantastic. More story. And so that's kind of what started that side of things. And then I started reading all the ones in between. And then one time I was really bored, and I went to a comic shop just to see what they had. Well, they had like some complete series of the Dark Horse runs because Disney Canon was really popular. I would go to Barnes & Noble and get the paperbacks for some of the earlier arcs in the canon comics. But that was just a little too expensive for me. I didn't have a job. Excuse me. And so there were a box of Star Wars comics. They're sorted out. Not really sorted out. They were just spread out. And it was like 25 cents to like 50 cents. And so I got like Mara Jade by the Empire's Hand, the whole thing for like $3. Whole thing of Golden Age of the Sith, like $3. Fantastic. I wish I could go back and get all of them because I just got the ones that were complete arcs, or maybe there'd be a few here and there, but I wish I went and got every single one of them. But I didn't, and that's what got me into the comic books. It just fed into my love for the mysteries of the Sith. Now the third question is, name my favorite Star Wars Expanded Universe character. Now, this is hard for me because I absolutely love what they did with Anakin and with Luke during the Expanded Universe. How they just expanded the character. So this is Expanded Universe exclusive characters. I would have to say, I really like Cade Skywalker. Let's see. Let me look. Jason and Jaina Solo. I like Anakin Solo. Uluk Kaldroma, Exar Kun. I like Kip Duran. He's kind of like, he's mentioned in the movies. Darth Plagueis. Darth Bane, fantastic. So I can't just narrow it down. I'd have to go into different eras for that. But that's kind of my list there. Now, my favorite Star Wars Expanded Universe book, comic, or video game. That's gotta be a hard one, because I absolutely love the KOTOR comic books. And also the Legacy comic books. I would say those are maybe some of my favorites. But I'm gonna say my favorite one, Darth Plagueis, favorite book, favorite video game. This is because I was a kid whenever I played it. Another thing that got me into the Expanded Universe, which to me it was just Star Wars. The Force Unleashed game, I had that on the Wii. Either KOTOR or Legacy. That might change for comic books. The next one is talk about how the Star Wars Expanded Universe affected me. Well, it definitely gave me a hobby of searching bookstores, antique stores, and all kinds of different things there. It made me want to read even more. It helped me read more, because whenever I was younger, I struggled with reading. And now I'd say I'm pretty good at it. Now, as a fan, it kept me interested in Star Wars, because the movies are fantastic, all 6 of them, plus the Ewoks movies. But it kept me as a fan. Now, there was a time whenever I did become a Star Wars canon fan, and really obsessed about those, but it was the movies and the books and the comics made me lose interest. But I always had the Expanded Universe there. So it helped me, as a person, a new hobby, and helping me read. But then as a fan, kept me interested, and kept me interested in Star Wars. The next one is talk about why you would like to see the Star Wars Expanded Universe content continued. Okay, I was just talking about this on a Discord that I joined. But there are 2 storylines that I really like, and I would love for them to expand upon more. With one of them, they've tried to continue it within the Disney canon, and they've kind of overhauled it, and it's very filled with things. But for the EU, it's very barren. And that's because George Lucas wanted to basically do a bunch of projects in that time. That's the Dark Times. So that's actually right about here on my bookshelf. And so there are quite a few stories in there, but the Dark Times comic books, I think, are fantastic, a great continuation of the Star Wars Republic series. I would love to see that continued. There are some Jedi that still live, and we even see live until Legacy. What happened to them? What's their story? Something else I would like to see is the continuation of the legacy of Anakin Skywalker. So his children, his grandchildren, and even his great-great-great-great-grandchildren. So I think I got the right amount of greats there. But I would love to see the continuation of Luke and his family. Even the death of Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo and Princess Leia and Lando. But I think what it would mean, what I'd like to see, even why I'd like to see it continued is, well, first off, it'll make Disney money. I have some issues with Disney, but they like money, and I like buying things, so, hey, sounds like we'll work good together. If they continue what I like, I'll pay for it. They continued the Star Wars Marvel comics from the 70s. And I bought it from the rack. I even bought a trade paperback copy with issues that I already had, so it would be a kind of a complete story. If they continued the Expanded Universe, they wouldn't alienate these fans that have been there since the beginning. Not to say I've been there since the beginning, but I've caught up quite a bit, and I really like the continuity. And to me, if we got more content, it would be for those fans that don't like the Disney continuity. And I know they're trying to sell it, and they've been sticking with it, but if they just threw out a little bit here, a little bit there, like, shoot, Star Wars, before Disney bought it, was releasing comic book adaptations, not even adaptations, they were kind of like what-if stories of what the script kind of looked like earlier in development of the stories, and that's the Star Wars series, or even the what-if comics, what are they called? Oh, Infinities. Like, they were coming up with stuff then. Why can't we do that, you know, in this new era we're in? They have the Star Wars Visions TV show, which is not canon to their stuff, and it's in its own separate canon. It's, why do we have that? Well, actually, I know why we have that, because it's storytellers that want to tell a story. Well, why don't we commission other storytellers to tell other stories in this expanded universe that we love? But thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully we'll get this message out to the people at Lucasfilm, and they'll see the passion that we have for these properties, and hoping one day that they'll continue them. Thank you so much. I'm really hoping one day Disney will continue the expanded universe continuity, so I could have some more fine additions to my collections. Bye.